There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, a hole. Then fix it, dear Willie, dear Willie, dear Willie. Then fix it, dear Willie, dear Willie, fix it. With what shall I fix it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I fix it, dear Liza, with what? With straw, dear Willie, dear Willie, dear Willie. With straw, dear Willie, dear Willie, with straw. With what shall I cut it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I cut it, dear Liza, with what? With a knife, dear Willie, dear Willie, dear Willie. With a knife, dear Willie, dear Willie, with a knife. But the knife needs sharpening, dear Liza, dear Liza. But the knife needs sharpening, dear Liza, needs sharpening. Then sharpen it, dear Willie, dear Willie, dear Willie. Then sharpen it, dear Willie, dear Willie. Then sharpen it. With what shall I sharpen it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I sharpen it, dear Liza? With what? A stone, dear Willie, dear Willie, dear Willie. With a stone, dear Willie, dear Willie, with a stone. Yeah, the stone needs water, Liza, dear Liza. The stone needs water, dear Liza, needs water. Then fetch it, dear Willie, dear Willie, dear Willie. Then fetch it, dear Willie, dear Willie, fetch it. With what shall I fetch it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I fetch it, dear Liza? With what? A bucket, dear Willie, dear Willie, dear Willie. With a bucket, dear Willie, dear Willie, with a bucket. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, there's a hole.